When you are making something, you have to detach from the outcome. And that can be really hard when you are actively trying to pursue something and the goal is for it to do well or look a specific way. And this means you disconnecting from the outcome of how you want the art to be. You have to define the finishing point for your art. The second one is that you need to detach yourself from the how of the exact way you want it to happen with the exact people, the exact collaborators. And the biggest one is you need to disconnect from how others are going to perceive your art or react to it or how well it's going to do. I've been writing and developing this EP and I've had this come up quite a few times. It's really hard to disconnect from the outcome of a project that you want to be successful and you want people to like and you want to like yourself. In the last video, I was talking about I had finally come to the conclusion that I was just going to work with a bunch of producers and that was one of my goals. And I can safely say that that is something that I did. And the great thing about that is that what it allowed me to do was let go of the outcome. I was so hell-bent on the song being a specific way and working with a specific person and them surely being the answer to all my problems that I didn't give myself the space to explore. I didn't give myself the space to fail. I didn't give myself the space to not be happy with an outcome. And because of this, I reached a point where I thought that my music wasn't good enough. I thought that I didn't have a clear enough vision. I thought that nobody could do it because I had tried a few people and it just wasn't working the way I hoped. And that was really disheartening after working on something for so long and really having a vision for it in my head and feeling like that wasn't actualizing exactly the way that I wanted it to. And it really felt like I was failing and that the music maybe wasn't as good as I thought or anything like that, even though I knew at my core that it was exactly what I wanted it to be, that I had something important to say. I just needed to find the right person to give me the outcome that I was looking for. But that's a lot of pressure to put on somebody else who's working on your song and on yourself for picking the right person and for it to be the exact way you wanted it to. So deciding to just go, screw it, I'm going to work with a bunch of different producers and I'm just going to experiment and I'm just going to have fun with it. And the crazy thing about that, and maybe a little manifestation moment, was what happened is that I ended up emailing a bunch of producers, all producers that I still plan on working with at some point, by the way. And by pure happenstance, this producer had a session before any of the other ones, one that I wasn't expecting to work with straight away, one that I knew was incredible. Instead of going, no, I kind of wanted to work with this person first and try them first based on what I know about them, I went, no, the goal was to work with as many people as possible. I am trying to create a narrative of this happening a certain way. I need to disconnect from the outcome and stop trying to control it so much. And I just need to experiment. So I went, yeah, we're just going to go with this producer. And guess what? It took one producer after the other ones that I had worked with, of course. So technically producer 3. I finally got something I was looking for. I went in, and I think a part of that was that I went in with my vision. I had my vision. I expressed what I was looking for, but I just allowed my producer to experiment. I allowed myself to be inspired by ideas that he had, and I got the outcome I was looking for. And it was in the vibe that I wanted. Was it exactly what I was expecting? No, but it was better. So that's been so exciting. And if you follow me on social media, you will see me posting some clips about it. That is the song. The Game is the song, the first one I got produced. And I've continued to work with this producer. And still, despite this, despite that I have seemingly figured it out and found a producer that I like, my goal is to still work with other producers in the future. And that was really exciting because I was proven right. I was proven that I need to disconnect, and you need to disconnect from the outcome at some stages. You can have a vision, you can have a goal, but you need to allow some flexibility. You need to decide that it's done and this is where it lands. And this is where I want to get into disconnecting from when it's done. I have such a problem with disconnecting from when it's done. And I know that I need to let it go. I've been told this by many people, like, it's done. It sounds great. What are you trying to continue to prove? And what I've learned is that usually that means that you're avoiding something. For me, generally, I'm avoiding the idea that others won't like it, or it's not good enough, or that I won't like it, or that it could just be a little bit better. To bring up We Need Your Art again, fantastic book. In here, Amy McNee discusses that when you are starting to nitpick your work, when I am nitpicking my work, when I am changing a single word, when I am saying it's not quite perfect, when I am, say, with a producer, I'm trying to change the decibels of how loud something is by minute amounts, you are pushing it too far and you are pushing it beyond done. You are pushing it beyond a point that anyone would even notice. And you are either holding on to the idea that it's not quite perfect yet or that it never will be, or number two, you don't want to move on from this project and try new things, which is scary. So with this, you have to figure out what you are trying to avoid. And that's a scary thing to look at. But with not finishing something or deciding that something's done or something's good enough and nitpicking it, you are actively avoiding something. And in my experience, it tends to be showing it to other people and other people having an opinion and judging it. It can also be boredom. Like there is a point where you hit boredom. You've looked at something for so long that you're just like, I'm just going to leave it and I'm going to come back to it and I'm going to tweak it later when it should just be finished. Maybe you're bored of it because it's finished, or essentially you're afraid of the next step. You're afraid to give it to somebody else. Something that I figured out recently with detaching from the outcome is that the biggest one is usually around other people seeing it or other people responding well to it. That's something that I think everybody struggles with, something that I definitely have struggled with. What I've learned is that there is nothing that you can do to make people receive something a specific way. You could be the smartest, you could be the most skilled, you could make the best videos, you could make the best art, you could make the best music, you could draw the best paintings, and you, no matter what, you cannot 100% determine what the outcome is going to be every time or how people are going to react to it. It's like a doctor. You can be the smartest doctor in the whole world and still you might have a patient that you work on pass away. The only thing that you can control is what you do. Outcomes, you can't control them. Maybe you can do more, upskill, learn, try new things, experiment, and get better, and it might yield better outcomes more often, but you can't guarantee it. And that is really, really scary when you are working on a piece of art that you want other people to see. But the kind of amazing thing about this is that you can only do what you can do. You can only do your best. But what if I'm thinking, or you're thinking, oh my God, though, but like I do care. I want this to do well. I've put a lot of effort into it. I should be allowed to want to care. And you absolutely are allowed to care. I'm allowed to care about the outcome and how well it does and how people receive it and that I want it to do well. I think this is really interesting because I've definitely implemented stuff like this in other areas of my life, like relationships and just like more like people. I'm a big advocate for not chasing after people. And if you don't like me and we're not going to mesh, that's totally fine. But for some reason, it doesn't seem to apply to other areas of my life, especially when you want something to be successful. It feels more like a desperation, and that's a gross feeling to have. But screw it. I need to apply that sense of not caring what others think into my music as well. I should be showing up authentically as myself in my art and allowing it to just live and just allowing people to experience it how they're going to experience it. If they like it, fantastic, amazing. If I get the outcomes I want, amazing. If I don't, that's okay too. That doesn't mean that I won't in the future, because I cannot control the outcome. You have to detach from it. And that is so scary, but you're going to get so much further, so much quicker. These things that come up, if you watched the last video, I talked a lot about resistance. It's all resistance. Detaching from the outcome is the best way to counteract resistance, because the resistance coming up is saying other people aren't going to like this, or people aren't interacting with this art the way that I expected them to, so it must be awful. And that's just not true, because you don't know when you are going to get the outcome you are looking for. It's only a matter of time. It is always only a matter of time. If you don't stop, you don't lose. So kind of like with my producer, all that it took was detaching from exactly who I needed to work with or exactly how it needed to sound for everything to just seemingly magically fall into place. And in this case, immediately fall into place. The second I went, let go of it needing to be a specific way, let go of the idea that the music wasn't good enough and that I just needed to experiment and let it live, is when I got exactly what I was looking for. It got exactly the outcome I wanted instantly. And that is all it takes. It's so hard to remember that when all you want is success at something you're doing, or for people to like what you are doing. But people will, and it just might not happen exactly the way you're expecting. You need to remember that you just need to let it go. It's going to be okay. I'm saying this for myself right now because you just need to let go of the outcome. It's gonna happen. It just might not happen exactly the way you're expecting. So something I've been struggling with is the social media side and getting my music in front of people. Obviously, I'm not fully at that stage yet, but I'm getting there and I'm starting that process, and it can be kind of disheartening, especially when it's a new space and a next step that you weren't expecting to take straight away. So I'm gonna give myself 6 months. Actually, let's make it shorter. 3 months. Doesn't sound like very long, but we're just gonna start with 3 months so it feels really low pressure. 3 months of just posting my content online, making these videos, making videos for my music, working with people, trying different things. 3 months, no pressure. I don't have to think about it all. Detach from the outcome. It doesn't matter who sees it. It doesn't matter who cares. I should be putting this stuff out into the world anyway. And that's the biggest thing we always learn, I feel, at the end of these, is that who cares? Just keep going. Just put it out there. Just try. It doesn't happen right now. It will happen in its own time. You have to detach from the outcome. And it's okay that not everything gets exactly the response that you're looking for, because that doesn't mean it's not going to happen. It just might not happen the way that you're expecting. Seems I've talked so long that it is now the evening. The sun has gone down, but I hope it felt cozy. And I hope that you would love to follow me on this journey of me making my music. And hopefully me talking along the way can help you unpack some things about your creative journey, and that it is not always as easy as some people make it seem, and that art is complex and your journey to your successes is complex sometimes. And there's things you're going to have to work out and barriers that you're going to have to come across. And that's okay. And that's all the part of the journey. So thanks for sticking around.